Hello. Hello. And welcome to the non-Greg Sterlace Greg Sterlace Show, except only the substitutes. I am your host, the Pamazon. Yes, that's right. Oop. And yes, I've got a little companion on here.
Hi. Great success, yes. As you know. I don't
As
know,
you
my
know.
microphone is way over here. But it did. Oh, yes. There. Ah! No. Don't be rude.
I'm sorry. I feel like my existence scares you anytime.
That's okay.
Oh, God, she exists!
I still think that needs to be a comic. Yeah. I'm here too. Cat laser. Ah!
Hi, man.
Our cat is really loving the cat laser. Our one cat was like, it's fun for 2 seconds
Dudley.
and screw
Hi,
that.
Dudley.
Oh, hello, Dudley.
Duds to duds.
Hi.
Dudley, is this your
No,
potato?
it's mine. I need that.
You can have the magic potato.
It's very good.
That is kind of you, Dudley.
John,
Yes?
why do you have a raw potato?
Because it's good and I like them.
I thought I was a tater lover, but I am no tater lover in comparison to this tater lover.
Oh.
I don't understand. It's like an apple with no flavor.
That is, I used to bake potatoes and then cut them open, and then jam cheese in and squish them shut.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are so
And
good.
you put the garlic
Oh,
salt
yeah.
on. Oh, God,
Oh
it's
my
so
gosh,
good, it's
yes.
so good. Oh,
Okay.
When I
that's
was a
cool.
little kid and my dad worked full time and I had a babysitter and my parents were divorced, so it was like, and we were poor. Special occasion was like those frozen TV dinner baked potatoes with all the stuff on top.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. I'm sure if I ate one now, I'd be like, "Ugh."
Potatoes, like the potato was the crust. And I put
Oh, that's so good too. Yeah.
Huh, I've never tried that. Well, hello, people of,
What was that?
I don't know.
Dudley doing
Things
something.
that scare John.
Ghosts!
The comic.
Oh, no.
Ghosts!
Oh,
No,
no.
not ghosts.
I really want to do
Maybe
that as like a
ghosts.
weekly strip. Just one thing.
Bars away. Check out my weekly strip. Papaya Jolly is available now.
All right, so I have a plug too, and that is the delightful 1,000% not-for-profit Buffalo Infringement Festival scheduled up, and it will be starting this Thursday. And I know you probably won't see this by then, but if by the time you see this, it will be in full swing. There's everything. There's theater. There's dance. There's literature. There's music. There's street performance. There's
Naked people.
naked people. There's lots of naked people.
I don't want to see that part. Naked people offend me.
I'm probably forgetting something. I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Theater, dance, workshops. There's workshops. You can learn a thing. There's a thing. You could learn a thing.
Who was the person who roasted their genitalias on the pavement last year? Just like some sort of thing. They're just laying on the ground.
That was
they're-
lazy ass destroyer.
Oh, that guy annoyed me.
Lazy ass destroyer. I love lazy ass destroyer.
I'm
Lazy
not
ass
gonna hate on him,
destroyer.
but he was unpleasant to me the last time
Ow.
I saw him. But he
The
was
cat just
very
got me, that's why I said
intoxicated,
ow.
So I can't be mean. But
No, I love lazy ass destroyer. They are infringement regulars and infringement devout. They should. Hopefully, they're here this year. I mean, it'd be the first year they weren't. But
Bill, I'm just telling you, dude. If I tell you don't touch me, don't touch me. God.
John doesn't like to be touched.
No. It's speaking of.
See, there's a
you can do
solution
it.
for that.
Okay, huh?
When people just keep touching you and they don't stop, you just grab a hold and twist. Anywhere.
He was 2 ways. To
He
do
was
that. He was
very
really drunk.
slimy.
But they had played like for a long time that day, so that's kind of part of it. But yes.
Speaking of naked.
But that was
people,
impressive, though. I mean, like it was blisteringly hot. It was like 90 degrees. He lied down. He's only wearing like little, I don't even know, like just a patch on his junk, and his junk fell out of the patch and was on the hot pavement. How do you do that? That's amazing. But that's not it's not only hot
I mean,
junk
it's
on a
amazing from
pavement
like a
at
meditative standpoint.
It has more than junk on a pavement.
Like a mind over matter standpoint.
It has, movies. Oh, film. That's the other one. That's the one I'm in charge of, and I
like where there's
forgot.
not even a.
Oops. No, there was nothing. We also do a crazy fun thing at the Broadway Market. I believe that's August 3rd. I don't know for sure. I think it's August 3rd. But you can just go to, Buffalo Infringement. Just Google it and look at the schedule. So we do a whole day at the Broadway Market, and it's, free to just wander around and see all the things there is to see. Maybe buy yourself some pierogi if you can eat gluten, unlike me. I'm so sad.
There's tacos that are safe for you there.
Oh, there's tacos there now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Delightful. But yeah.
Beth and I were checking that space out for renting. And it was reasonably priced. But we would have had to still have a kitchen off-site, and
Yeah.
or
except
we
the
would have had to put a
cross-contamination would
kitchen
have been bad,
in
yeah.
on our own. And that would have been... You know, we would have had to, like, have an electric stove, which would just be, like, massive power. And then during Easter, they're like, oh, yeah, you have to be there for all those days. I'm like, we can't make enough to do that.
Yeah, that
we would
yeah.
make bank, but we would also die.
Well, yeah. I do like the Broadway Market, but I don't go there enough, and I should go there more because it is delightful, and you can go and see, you know, music and theater and painting and whatever there on the date the infringement is there, which I forgot like a jerk. I think it's the 3rd. But it's a Saturday. Look it up. Look it up. Look at all
Have
the
they
lights.
repainted the inside yet? Because they were going to repaint it, weren't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Remodeling it? They're working on remodeling it or something?
Oh, don't remodel it. I like all the things from the 70s that are there.
It is kind of delightful. It
Yeah.
does, from the outside and even the inside, it does feel like somebody turned an abandoned mall into a bazaar.
Yeah. Like they just stopped at like 1976 or something,
Mhm.
you know. Well, not 76 because there had been all this like bicentennial crap there. But yeah.
And then you
Oh,
like
I
go
hated the bicentennial.
you go up to the
quarters
second
are
floor
cool.
and it's just like the little thing in the middle of the
Yes.
fun.
Those are my favorite quarters.
I was a little kid in school and we had to have bicentennial lessons every day, and I couldn't take it. I was the quietest little kid.
The
I was
history of
so
old
quiet.
white men that's been whitewashed.
Yes, and I was like the quiet kid who never said anything. And the teacher started in on a bicentennial lesson, and I said, "Bicentennial sucks!" And she was so shocked because I never said anything. I couldn't take it. It was horrible.
I had a Bicentennial TV for a while. A little black and white TV,
That
portable
sounds
TV
delightful.
that was made around that time, and it was all like wood grain on the outside. It was wood grain, and then it was like cream colored panels with like all sorts of like block print kind of stuff on the side of it. But then during a bad windstorm, my treehouse got knocked down, which took the TV and several other things with it. And then a
Oh.
big patch of the yard after the treehouse caught fire.
Oh,
Well, I like American history. That's
Don't
where
let
we get
12-year-olds
potatoes.
put
That's true.
power in their treehouse. Is the lesson.
I like American history. I mean, you get potatoes, you got corn, you got all sorts of cool stuff.
we did visit someplace delightful, didn't we, John? We visited the
Ooh.
magical TV graveyard.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Oh, it was spooky.
Yeah.
All right, it wasn't. It was kind of spooky actually,
It
because
is
there was
pretty-
nobody there, and someone just was like, "I don't know, there's no one here. Just leave your TV. It's okay." And you're like,
I want to go
Really?
there to get a TV
I
because
know,
I'm sure
there's-
there's people who leave CRTs behind.
Yeah.
And in one of the pictures you sent me, there was definitely some sort of large Sony Trintron.
"Yes, there's many beautiful TVs. Some with the wood grains, some without." Yes.
Panned.
I am sad because our CRT died, and I loved it because you know turn it on, you get that sound, and the picture comes out.
I don't
And
like
The,
back screen.
the warm,
Yeah, it's so
the wa-
nice.
the
And then you
wa-
turn it off.
the warm hum and the buzz of the
Oh, yeah,
the hiss
yeah.
of the buzz and hiss of the electrons
Oh,
hitting the
comfortable,
glass.
comforting. Electrons, show me your love.
Well, I was telling Dudley yesterday. I want to break the world record for eating an onion.
Wait, there's a world record for eating an onion.
It better be a glass one.
Yeah, Dudley was saying he didn't think I could do it, and I don't think I can either, because I've been trying, and I can never do it under 2 minutes.
But even when I cut onions, you're always the one who
You
cries.
see, there's a solution there.
Won't that hurt your eyes?
Just
Oh.
eat a really tiny onion, like one of those little itty bitties. Just
Yeah, it was a little tiny.
The pearl onions. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to make creamed onions. It was those little pearl onions. It looked like eyeballs and cream. It was just.
Oh, I want to use
Ugh.
those pearl onions. I want to make well, Beth and I are, well, she's vegan. I'm mostly vegetarian. So, but if we have another Halloween party, I want to do a meat head using the tofurkey deli slices, and use the pearl onions for the eyes.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, my ex loved those creamed onions, and I think you would probably like the creamed onions as well because you love onions. But I could not even eat them.
I also always think it would be
Well,
fun.
It don't matter if you can't eat it. I'll just make more potatoes.
Well, you can eat. I can make something you eat. What were you gonna say, May?
I was gonna say I also think it would be really fun to like make for a Halloween party look-alike foods, like tiny little meatloafs that look like cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
Until somebody bites into them,
I love meatloaf.
and it's meatloaf on the bottom and mashed potatoes for frosting.
I had something like that happen to me once. It was my birthday, and but I was sick and I couldn't go to practice. So my boyfriend at the time went to practice, and they the people whose house we practiced at, they were from Pakistan, and they found out it was my birthday, so they sent me these delightful pastries. And I'm like, it's my birthday, I get a pie, and I bit into it, and it was full of meat. I didn't even know meat could be in pies at that point in my life.
I actually really like
Yeah,
shepherd's
it was good,
pie,
but it was, it was Indian pie. It was
Yeah.
like a Pakistani pie. Sorry, not Indian. I'm sorry. Sorry. But
Well,
it was- it was good.
I mean,
There's a good Doctor Who episode about that. About when they redrew those borders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. I mean,
And a couple other like actually meaningful articles about it. But
Yes.
the Doctor Who
Pakistan.
episode is tear jerking. Did I say Doctor Who article? That would be weird.
Yeah.
Written by Tom Baker.
So this week's things that scare John. Pam putting her hand on John's back, even though she's sitting beside John and has had her hand on his back on and off all whole episode.
It took me a second to realize you were talking about yourself in the third person there because I couldn't really hear you over the fan. I'm like,
okay.
what
Yes.
is happening?
Yes. That is like the newest fan in the house. It's loose full of dirt and grubbery stuff.
Dudley needs a motorcycle. Look at this like windswept.
Born to be
yeah, I don't
mild.
want any wildness. Keep it nice and safe. I don't like being anything too crazy. Keep it nice.
It's
and
all fun and games until somebody scratches a cornea.
safe. I mean, you ever see what happened to that
It hurts.
mouse on that motorcycle?
Yeah, scratch a cornea.
Yeah.
No good.
Beverly Cleary's still alive. She's over 100.
Wow. Yeah, at the fair, went to the fair, and I couldn't get anyone to ride the crazy rides with me. And my nephews were like, yes, but then they were too little. That was probably not the best thing to take.
I told you about the time
3 and
that there was
5-year-old
like
on scary rides.
it was basically a Ferris wheel, but it was like a Ferris wheel with a couple of arms, and then there were
Ferris
like.
wheel actually scares the crap out of me.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I used to work at Darien Lake, and occasionally I'd be at the Ferris wheel, and in the morning they'd be like, "We got to test the rides," and it's like, "Who wants to ride?" And I'd be like, "Nope,
No.
I'll go on the roller coasters."
Yeah. I think it's you get to contemplate too much on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And also last year, I got on it with a 2 and a 4-year-old, and we jump in, and I'm like, okay, where's the belts? And then the thing takes off. Literally no belts, no nothing. And the 2 and 4-year-old are like, this is boring. And they start they lunge for the
They're trying to
doors.
open the doors.
Yeah, but at this point they lunge for the doors, and I grab them.
From way up in the air?
Yes. And I grabbed them. I was like, oh my God. And then, of course, it's a bucket seat. And then the bucket goes like that. And
Well-
then I'm holding them in the death grip as they're trying to get away and throw themselves to their death. The whole time I'm on the Ferris wheel. That was
Baby Blingo!
yeah, it was the worst. It was the scariest ride ever because I'm trying to keep these tiny children from, killing themselves and throwing themselves on the Ferris wheel. It was horrible.
So I have 3 brief, scary ride stories.
But seriously, though,
Well,
why wouldn't they have something to lock you down in the fucking Ferris wheel?
Well,
Like, what the
questionable
hell?
safety.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Greasing the bars.
I would
Anyways,
not have gotten on if I'd done
so this thing was like a Ferris wheel with 4 smaller Ferris wheels on it. And then each of those smaller Ferris wheels spun independently. The big wheel spun. And there were little carts on it that turned around like this.
Oh, my
which is
goodness.
fine. They're completely enclosed.
Yeah.
So you can fall out. But they're like that, cut and then like spread out like metal mesh stuff. And they had straps, but we were too little for the straps. So me and my sister were in the same car, and it starts going, and they start spinning around, and we're just like banging around inside that cage, like balls in a bingo thing.
That's terrible.
And we're like
That's wrong,
screaming
yes.
and crying, and they finally stop the ride, and we get off, and we had like the pattern like.
That is
Yeah.
terrible. That's hilarious, though.
Yeah,
A
and
terrible. I'm sorry. That's
and
funny.
the other one was I was working at Darien Lake, and I was on break, and I decided I was going to go ride the Viper because I like wooden roller coasters, but you know that's all manned by like. Is it the Viper? No, the Predator. Yeah.
Predator.
Yeah, but it's
my
all
friend
manned
was
by
talking
like
about it.
16-year-olds, and I sat in the front car because I'd never done that yet,
Yeah.
and the bolts that hold the front like wooden plate onto the front of the car were all loose, and it was like coming off.
Oh,
so it was like
jeez.
in my hands, and then one side came loose, and the other side was like about to, and then it
Oh,
finally
jeez.
comes in, and I'm like, hey, you have to have this checked out because it's like falling apart, and.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Did
then
they-
the person didn't have it checked out, and then they got reported and fired. But
Oh
it was
my God.
really scary
That
because
is
I probably
terrifying.
would have been okay because I was strapped in, but there
Yeah.
would have been nothing in front of me between the tracks and the front
Now,
of the
can
entire
you still
train.
ride a roller coaster
Yeah.
or no?
I still love roller coasters.
Okay.
I just
Because I cannot. After that experience, I got on it again this year, and again they tried to throw themselves out, but John was helping me.
try
But I was just like, we're gonna die. It's gonna fall off. We're gonna die. I was like totally losing it because it was just too much stress. It was the worst thing ever. It was so horrible.
I really like roller coasters, but I have a thing now where if I'm gonna like one of the last people on, I won't ride it. I'll wait till come back around.
Why?
Because I have more time to check to make sure nothing's really broken.
That makes sense.
I also passed out on the Mind Eraser once. And,
Oh.
And I was
It
just
erased
the
your
one.
mind.
It's the one where it has warnings on the back that say "Do not put your head down." And I looked down at something, and my head just went, "Whoop," and all the blood just went right
Wow.
out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I passed out, and I was quasi-conscious for the entire ride, and I was just dangling there, like with the restraint here, and it's one of
no.
those ones where your legs dangle out the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
So I got out, and I hadn't really had much to eat that day, so I had low blood sugar, and I was a little like, and I was eating that second brandy, the
Yes.
one who was in your graphic design class and hated you. Gosh, she wasn't very good at graphic design, and she didn't like Pam's teaching style, I think. I'm not really sure.
She made a good video.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Whatever. Not
she
everything's
was
for
there,
everybody.
and she was like in a bad mood or something, and I'm like, that was really scary. I thought I was dying. It was so, and she's like, you're just so dramatic. Blah. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm dating this person. You know, like.
I always think of that horrible 70s song. Brandy, you're a fine girl.
That's what
a
she's
good
named
wife."
after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
And then the first brandy I dated was named
Embarrassing.
after the booze.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not as embarrassing, surprisingly.
One was with a Y, and the other was with an I, like a stripper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, when it was cool to name your kid Brandy with an I, you didn't know it was going to become a stripper name yet.
Right, yes.
Stripper show once, but I played like the innocent boy that all the strippers had to like seduce. But I actually was like really embarrassed and shy, so I just looked away and was really like blushing when the girls took their clothes off, and I just kind of left.
That's
That's very John.
I'm
How
I'm
about
not
some
sure
ride
what
stories?
that-
Do you have any?
Well, I just want to say I did at least finish the set, but I went up on the balcony where I couldn't see them. I continued singing.
You didn't hold your backpack in front of you and go like a high school? No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I gotta hold my binder in front of me.
Do you have any scary ride stories, or do you just not go on rides?
I went on some, but I don't really remember. I mean, I went to Cedar Point once, which I actually thought was fun.
Oh, I really want to go to Cedar Point. I have a friend who goes every year, but
I'm gonna go to Fantasy Island.
Oh, Fantasy
Fun!
Island.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean,
I like
loved
Fantasy Island.
Disneyland when I went there. I thought it was fun,
Or
but
I-
I never went on any crazy rides.
Did you ever say in this story the story about when you met Santa?
Oh, yeah.
On the
when
show?
when
Did
I
he
met
ever say
Santa,
this?
I was so afraid and like terrified out of my mind, I just fainted. And I just remember waking up in the car. I think there's video of it.
Oh, please find the video.
No, I don't
please,
want to see
please.
it.
Please. Oh, you love your friends.
You guys are mean.
I'll even find a VCR.
There's one right downstairs.
Or are you young enough that it was
Oh.
recorded digitally?
No, it was Betamax, I think.
Whoa,
Wow.
jeez. Your parents had some old equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I gotta. Yeah, gotta have a bargain, son. I mean, I did get a.
You can't watch the playback at the same time.
I did get a taxidermied weasel for my 4th birthday, so I mean,
My dad has weird taxidermied critters that, around his house. Not because he's into that, but because they were at some sort of estate sale or something, and they were covered in dust and weird and creepy, and he liked their horror movie vibe, so he bought them.
Oh, that's
and they're
awesome.
sitting there with just as much dust on them now.
Taxidermied piranha I took on a show and tell in kindergarten.
Did you get in trouble?
No,
Oh, that's good.
I didn't really think it was weird because I was a little kid. I'm like, oh, it's just this weird fish.
I remember kindergarten show and tell. That was fun, except for the one time a kid brought in a deer heart in a Ziploc bag and then squeezed it around to show it like pump
That's
blood.
what happens in the country.
Yeah.
When you're out in the country.
I think I brought in a box turtle once, and that's how I learned box turtles are really fast when they want to be.
Look up the Turtle Pizza Man. It's really fun.
The turtle pizza man?
He makes pizzas for turtles out of watermelon. It's really cute.
Oh, I also brought in this tiny microhabitat thing that my dad helped me make that you like put crickets and stuff, grasshoppers in, and you could put food in them. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, that's pretty fun. So, I do have a disturbing story
Yeah.
that I've...
Is it the wasps?
Cover your ears.
I was there.
So we
John,
were in
it's not like
it was
that popped
disturbing.
open the tube and a bunch of tiny genitalia fell out or anything.
I hate spiders. I'm so afraid of spiders.
So we were in Dansville, and this like black wasp keeps going in this tube of mud and then out and in, and the tube of mud is by the door. And my sister's like, "God damn it, is that like a wasp nest?" And she grabs a knife and is like, and then all these spiders fall out. All these spiders, but they're not moving. And it's like a huge amount of spiders, like 50 spiders. And there's like ones kind of and I'm just like, what is happening? Was that a spider nest? But what is going on? And then the wasp comes over and is like, what is happening? Where'd my shit go? And then he goes, pew, pew. It turns out that the mud dauber wasp, the mud dauber wasp gets spiders, anesthetize them, and they're all paralyzed, and then sucks the literal guts out of them. And
Spider juice.
all these poor spiders were like in there, like waiting to be sucked dead. And yeah,
Yeah, it was very gross.
It was these fell out like.
I love being out there, though. So
That's
nice.
hardcore.
It is hardcore. It's hardcore disturbing.
But I love our bed out there. It's so
That wasp
It
had a
is
tiny
comfortable out
double
there.
neck guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, the wasp kept flying over and be like, I don't understand. It was here. Let me fly away. Okay. Oh, jeez, it's still gone. What happened? Let me fly away. God damn it.
Yeah.
God, this is really straining my like 12 neurons.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that graveyard across the street seems so haunted. And like that weird drug car that was crashed there we found.
Yeah. Yeah. All that was very haunted and questionably disturbing, yes.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Very scary. Very scary. Scary. Spoopy.
See, it's not the
Spoopy.
dilapidated buildings and stuff you have to worry about when you're out in the boonies in Western New York. It's the people.
Well, that yeah, there can be some aspects of that, no doubt.
I never
I'm from there, I
can
see
say
that.
anybody out there. Like we never run into anybody when you're at around there. Like that's like the only house for like a mile around there. It seems like.
No, there's houses around there, but
Well, see, it's that kind of thing where like you forget your phone and you turn around to go get it, even because you're like, if I break down, I'm gonna have to walk 2 miles.
well, 2 miles is a nice estimate. Yeah.
Yeah, a nice estimate. I was driving my sister to Alfred once from my parents' house, and I was like way out in the middle of nowhere, and I had a flip phone, and I barely had any service, and I had like the Java Google Maps, but it didn't work really well at all. And I'm like, damn, if my car breaks down, and it could have because it was a 1986 Volvo.
I remember that car.
There were more quarters in the fuse box than there were fuses sometimes.
I always wanted a Yugo.
There was one in Buffalo for the longest time. There was someone who had one.
But anyways, I was like in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, it was getting dark, and I'm like, if I break down, I'm gonna have to walk for a really long distance.
Yes, you will.
And at that point, I had never walked more than five miles.
Is it Wimoco? Is that the name of the thing that brings kids from the city and trains them in things like Tech Couriers, Womoko, I think it's called.
Bosie's?
No, it's not Bosie's. It's a different thing. And there were all these kids from New York City on the bus that I was on. And it was a Greyhound bus, but it was the one that goes to Jamestown from Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So all these kids from New York City got on it.
Were they
I
like,
think it was
wow,
a
look at
loco.
all those weird dogs out in that field?
No,
Oh.
suddenly all the electricity in the bus went out.
Oh.
They had never been somewhere where there were no lights. And they were flipping out. They were very upset. And I understand because there's nothing out in Chautauqua County and there's no lights. And
I love the stars and everything, and I'd like to see more in Buffalo, but I think by the time, if Buffalo ever gets around to retrofitting the street lamps with those kind that don't cause as much light pollution, it'll be after every other larger city already has. But there's a lot less light pollution here than there is in Rochester.
oh, is there? I mean, you can go out. If you have a boat, you can go out in the lake, I guess. You
Yeah.
know.
But like we go out to my parents or Beth's parents every once in a while, and it'll be dark, and we'll get out of the car and like stretch and look up and be like,
Yeah, that happens in Dansville, too.
yeah,
But I- yeah.
look at them all.
Ooh, time is drawing near. We should give our recommendations. So my recommendation, I have two. If Rutger Hauer just died, if you have not seen Blade Runner, what the are you waiting for? Go watch it now.
Stop it! I didn't mean it. I don't know.
John?
The second one's
John?
good
I'm
too.
sorry.
John?
I'm sorry. I didn't even. I don't know.
One of the best scenes
I've only
in
seen
film.
like 5 movies.
One of the best scenes ever in film he is in.
Well,
And the-
hopefully you won't judge it like you judged Firefly.
I didn't judge it.
Dead
And then
to
the other
me.
thing is, if you love electronic music, early electronic music, and there was this stupid thing going around, like Kraftwerk is the only band that ever mattered, blah blah blah, written by some jerk off. That's not true. It's not true. There's so many great early electronic pioneers. Kraftwerk is just one.
I'm not actually a fan of Kraftwerk.
Thank you. Bruce Hack is amazing. That's Bruce and then Haack. Bruce Hack. He made his own goddamn instruments. He made his own keyboards. He made his own drum machines. He's amazing. So go listen to him. All right, your suggestions. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I like Raymond Scott's electronic work from the 40s. I think.
Oh,
it's
there
really
we
good.
go. Yes.
Those are really
Was
good.
that
There's lots of
vacuum-
people
that had to
other
have been
than
vacuum
pretentious
based
German
electronics,
bastards.
probably.
Oh, oops. I mean, I
Raymond
Kraftwerk.
actually like Kraftwerk.
Raymond
so.
Scott.
Kraftwerk.
He made a bunch of money
name wrong doing my accent.
I'm
doing-
disingenuous.
He sold the rights to his music to use for Looney Tunes cartoons, and then he just kind of had a bunch of money, and he locked himself away and toyed with electronic music until like he died in the 90s.
Well, I like the original electronic artists. Hold on, I have to burp.
Delia Derbyshire?
No, the creator of the what's that spooky thing?
Theremin?
Theremin.
Theremin. Yeah.
Yes.
Theremin.
Yes. Yeah,
Check out
Theremin.
Debbie Lala on
spy.
Theremin.
He was a spy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a Russian spy.
Very amazing. That's, yes.
I just
Theremin
like
is
to
great.
recommend My
Yeah.
album of the week is Why the Mountains Are Black, which contains primeval Greek village music from 1907 to 1960. It's basically a bunch of songs from ancient Greece that just kind of were like in the really back ends of like just the middle of nowhere Greek villages that were just
How did that even get written down?
I think it was just kind of traditionally passed down. If you read all the liner notes, and like this guy just kind of went all over Greece and just kind of like recorded these ancient
That
things.
sounds really cool.
And there's the one with not from 1907 is amazing. It's just this woman playing a flute and singing, and it's really surreal. And the reading where these songs came from, a lot of them date back thousands and thousands of years. It's
Now,
really fascinating.
did you find this at a VOA or a thrift store?
No, I found this at Record Theater.
Oh, okay.
So we're playing Sunday the 28th at the College Street Block Party, and then Milky's later in the evening after 10:30. College Street Block Party after 3, and then August 2nd, Hooked on Cassiophonics and Witch are playing at Nietzsche's.
Hey, we're playing.
I have no recommendations.
I just said
for the
us.
day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got no recommendations? How about a good game?
Oh, okay. Real quick. Nah. I don't have
Oh,
anything.
there's no good games
Call,
today.
text,
Sorry.
tell me you're disappointed in me. I don't care.
There's also many, many songs on this called Chatamanios. It's very, I don't know. There's a lot of
Very,
songs
I
with the
don't
same
know.
name.
Wes.